The family room could barely hold us. Coats draped over chairbacks, a parade of coffee mugs sweating on coasters, the TV muted to a nature documentary none of us watched. My mother stood by the mantel like she was presiding over a board meeting rather than a Wednesday night ambush. My older brother Ethan lounged in the center of the couch with the self-satisfaction of a late-night host. His wife, Marina, gleamed beside him, fresh blowout, diamond studs, a phone clutched like a trophy. I stayed near the doorway, hands wrapped around a paper cup that smelled like burnt hazelnut. "Thanks for coming," Mom said, accessing that careful voice she used for both holiday prayers and parking tickets. "Ethan has news." Ethan sprang up and swept his phone through the air, as though to bless us with whatever he'd captured on it. "We found the beach place," he announced. "4 bedrooms, steps to the sand, glass everywhere. We close next week." Aunts and uncles stirred. Marina crossed one leg over the other, ankle flashing. "Best part?" Ethan added, lingering like a magician before the reveal. "It's in Azure Point. You know where Nora's been, camping?" I blinked. "Camping?" "Squatting," he corrected, then glanced at Marina. "Well, using, is what Mom says." "The house Nora's been using," Mom agreed, chin set. "Your Uncle Harold left it to the family. She's acted like it's hers." I stared at my coffee, as if an answer might surface in the swirl of cream. "That's not," I began. "Let him finish," Mom snapped. "We did the responsible thing," Ethan said. "It should have been for all of us, but Nora kept it locked down. So we took action." "What action?" asked Uncle Ray, whose hands were always stained with engine grease, even when he wasn't fixing anything. "Partition," Marina said, like unveiling the punchline to a joke. "To force a sale, we're heirs." "The court agreed," Ethan put in. "Ordered an auction, highest bid won." He tapped his chest. "Ours, 1.8. The room, which had been humming with smug electricity, seemed to tilt on its axis. "When do you take possession?" I asked. "Friday," Ethan said. "Sheriff's doing the eviction Thursday night. It'll be quick, Nora. We've got a case number and everything." "What's the case number?" I asked. He turned to a printout, frowning for effect. 22 CV50 941, Orange County, Judge Valdez. "Excuse me 1 second," I said, stepping into the hall where the air cooled. My fingers were already finding the contact I needed. "Amaya? It's Nora Vale. Can you pull 22 CV 50,941?" I heard typing. Amaya Chen, my attorney, since the early days of my startup, never wasted a syllable. "Found it," she said. "Filed 6 months ago. Default judgment against you. Nora, were you ever served?" "No," I said. "No one knocked? No letter? Nothing?" "Then the judgment's rotten," Amaya replied. "Also, Azure Point, who's on the deed?" "I am," I said, pulse climbing. "I bought it in 2014. Cash. Startup payout. Bring deed, title insurance, tax receipts, loan payoff letters, everything," she said. "I'll file an emergency motion right now." I tucked my phone away and returned to the doorway. Inside, cousins were already spitballing a 4th of July bash. Someone volunteered a margarita machine, someone else a catering contact, fireworks in their eyes, sand in their imaginations. "Ethan," I said, keeping my voice even, "we need to talk." I set my coffee on the mantel and took out my phone. "There's a problem," I said. "The Azure Point house isn't a family inheritance. I bought it in August 2014. Cash, title, taxes, everything's in my name." Ethan laughed too loudly. Marina smirked like a Swarovski swan. "Come on, Nora," he said. "You were 26. 26 with stock options," I said. On the county portal, I entered the address, scrolled, and turned the screen. Owner of record, Nora Vale, purchase date, August 15th, 2014. Price, $1,300,000. Uncle Ray took my phone and whistled through his teeth. Marina's smile folded in on itself. Mom's arms crossed so tightly, I thought something might splinter. "Your uncle left it to us," she said thinly. "Uncle Harold died in 2015, I said. "He never owned this house." Silence. Even the TV's wails seemed to go quiet. We followed the law, Ethan said, color rising in his face. We filed, and the court agreed. You filed a partition on property you never verified, I said. And you never served me. That's how you got your default. My phone buzzed. I put it on speaker. To everyone gathered, Amaya's calm voice filled the room. Seeking partition when you have no ownership interest is fraud. Presenting false facts to a court is perjury. Any auction based on that collapses. We trusted our lawyer, Marina said, spots of color on her cheekbones. Your lawyer trusted you, Amaya replied. A title search would have taken 10 minutes. Ethan's bravado drained. We paid 1.8, he said. The sale is final. The sale will be voided, Amaya said. Funds returned through the court registry. I've filed an emergency motion and notified the district attorney. Nora, bring your documents. I'm on my way, I said, slipping the phone back into my pocket. I took in the room centerpieces forming in imaginations, playlists queuing in minds, all of it built on sand that had never been theirs. This isn't a misunderstanding, I said. It's theft wrapped in confetti. On my drive to Amaya's office, the ocean glinted in fractured panels between rooftops. I'd sanded the deck at Azure Point all summer, knot by knot. Something about that labor had steadied me after years of chasing valuation charts and investor moods. The house felt like breath after a long dive. It felt like mine. Wednesday arrived with the metallic taste of adrenaline. Courtroom 12 smelled like paper and lemon cleaner. Ethan and Marina sat beside an attorney whose pallor suggested he'd swallowed a stapler. Amaya laid out our documents in a crisp fan. The deed, the title policy, tax bills spanning a decade, the lender's payoff letter from 3 summers ago. She placed them in front of me like armor, the dates bold as drum beats. Judge Valdez took the bench. Miss Vale, she said, scanning the motion, I've reviewed your filings. County records show you as owner since August 2014. Continuous property tax payments. Clear title, correct? Yes, Your Honor, I said. Amaya stood. Your Honor, the partition action relied on false premises and defective service. My client was never noticed. She learned of the case from a family gathering about an imminent eviction. The judge turned to Ethan's counsel. Did you verify ownership before filing? He swallowed. We relied on client representations, Your Honor. That is not verification, Judge Valdez said. She looked directly at Ethan. Did you properly serve Miss Vale? Ethan stared at the tabletop as if the grain held a lifeline. No, Your Honor. Then the default judgment is vacated, she said. The auction is void. Funds will be returned to the bidders through the registry. I am referring this matter to the district attorney for investigation into fraud on the court. A sound escaped Marina, half gasp, half sob. Ethan didn't move. I felt Amaya's hand graze my elbow, steady as ballast. In the hallway, Mom caught my sleeve. You set your brother up, she said, eyes bright and hard. I protected my home, I said. The records were public the entire time. Amaya pressed a folder into my hands. We're done here, she said. I'll handle the referral and keep you posted. A week later, the DA's office offered a deal. Probation, community service, and restitution of my legal fees. Ethan took it. Marina posted an inspirational quote about resilience that made my teeth ache. Mom stopped calling. A buzzing cousin group chat reconstituted without me, like a party door closed with a polite smile. Uncle Ray phoned the night of the plea. I checked the records myself, he said. You were right. For what it's worth, Nora, I'm proud you didn't let them steamroll you. Family shouldn't mean surrender. I thanked him. After we hung up, I drove to Azure Point just as the sky was loosening its color. The pelicans flew arrow straight past the point, wings carving shadows over water. The tide breathed in and out with the patience of an old metronome. I ran a palm along the cedar railing I'd sanded until the grain rose warm beneath my skin. I remembered the August day I'd signed the papers, the stunned quiet of clicking confirm, the way the ocean had opened itself in silver sheets as if to say, you may rest here. In the hush, my inbox chimed. A final note from Amaya. Clerk processed the void and refund. Sheriff canceled the eviction. Dismissal entered. I stared at the words, then out at the line where the water darkened into night. On the beach below, a child ran after a kite that had no business flying at that hour, but still it climbed. Stubborn Dot Ribbontail tolling like a bell. Peace, I thought. Not the kind wrapped in streamers and shouted over music. Not the kind that needs a guest list. The kind that stands in court, states the truth, and walks out with its back straight. The kind that smells like cedar dust and salt. That lifts from a railing under your hand like a steady pulse. Peace, I thought. Not a party.